I already made a few videos on the supposed death of David Bowie, which is nothing more than a hoax. The man is alive and well. He's just going into retirement, just like many celebrities before him. They get sick and tired of being in the public eye, and this is their exit from the world stage. I just saw this video clip from The Simpsons that aired on the same day that David Bowie supposedly died, where a cat named Bowie is mentioned with two different colored eyes. How obvious can it be?
Not even the one with...
No, not one. And she has a cat with different color eyes. His name is Bowie.
No!
For those that don't understand, let me explain what's taking place. These people in Hollywood are an exclusive club of Freemasons, such as Sylvester Stallone, Matt Groening, and John Carpenter. This is a Freemasonic hand sign. You can call it the 666 with the illuminated eye. These people are the Freemasons. Like I stated so many times, you want to get into Hollywood, you want to be a producer, you want to be a writer, you want to be a director, you're not going to get there unless you're a Freemason that is on the same page with the people behind the scenes. People don't understand they've been born into deception. If they don't wake up, they're going to die deceived. Just taking a look, as an example, at an episode with The Simpsons. Of course, like I stated, Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, and what do you see? The 33-cent store. And this is a reference to the 33rd degree Freemason, like I've mentioned so many times, the highest degree in the Scottish Rite. Of course, Christ was crucified at the age of 33. These are Satanists, all of them. You're not going to make it in top of this world unless you sell out and you're part of this exclusive club. Another example how it's all about the numbers. Just take a look at the calling systems. They're 311, which is 3, of course, times 11 is 33. 911. Now understand one thing, as I mentioned many times, the groundbreaking for the Twin Towers was in 1968. And of course, the towers came down in 2001. That is exactly 33 years. And also understand, the nationwide emergency calling system, of course, is 9/11. And what year did that come into play? The same year the Twin Towers construction began. How obvious can it be? It's all about the numbers. And if you think this is just all a coincidence with these numbers, I'll tell you, you're nothing more than a coincidence theorist. Now, getting back to the air date with The Simpsons of January 10th, understand also is season 27, episode 11. You get the 2 and 7, that is 9, and you get the 11, you get the 9/11. So they're all about the numbers. And that's what people need to understand.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners. Our owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you, all around you. And they have blinded us to the truth.
And like I stated earlier, John Carpenter is nothing more than a Freemason like them all in Hollywood. What do you see right here in plain sight? The 33rd degree of Freemasonry. Just like I showed earlier with this logo, their motto, order out of chaos. That's what they're all about. Of course, again, with this image of Stallone, Groening, and Carpenter. How obvious can it be? If those that have eyes to see, it is obvious. And this just in, Alan Rickman supposedly passes away from cancer as well at the age of 69, just like David Bowie. And of course, cancer is the number 69 in astrology. And one other amazing coincidence, the last public appearance by Alan Rickman was December 7th. The same with David Bowie, December 7th. So you got 7, 7, which all has to do with the occult of Oz. 7, 7. With Chaldean numerology. How obvious can it be? They're all about the numbers. Just like George Carlin just stated, it's a big club and we're not in it. From people in Hollywood, from Steven Spielberg, to George Lucas, to Richard Donner, to Robert Zemeckis, to the politicians, to the judges, the police, to the music industry, professional sports. They're all working together, playing us all for fools. And like I stated many times, these Masons speak in code, not through words, but through symbolism, hand signs, colors, dates, and numbers. Going back in time, watching some old footage back from 1991 with Sylvester Stallone at this Achievement Awards for Kirk Douglas. He's standing in a room full of people, and he's flashing all these Masonic hand signs, from the All-Seeing Eye to the 666 and the devil horns.
Hey, Michael, wherever you are, don't mess with your father. Hey, Michael, wherever you are, don't mess with your father.
And they don't call him Sly for no reason. That's like an inside joke with the fellow Masons, with Sly meaning having a deceitful nature, clever in a dishonest way, and showing that you know a secret. And to those, I think it's crazy to suggest that Sylvester Stallone would have a part in Satanism. Just take a look at his mother, Jacqueline Stallone. She's a well-known astrologer and is a psychic. And the Bible's clear when it states, do not turn to mediums or psychics. And taking a look at some of these predictions from her website that came true, from the O.J. Simpson case to the Tony Blair elections to Bush back in 2000 winning the elections by 200 votes, to knowing the color and the make of the car of the victims from the Washington D.C. snipers. I mean, how does she know this? This is all about deception. She's an insider. You know, she's one of them as well, of course. And she has inside information. These were all psyops. The elections are all fixed. They're all rigged. And her being in the inside, she's going to be privy to this information. So again, they're all playing us for fools. They're all connected. All these so-called elite and their bloodline and their families and their friends, they're all playing the masses for fools. And this is the way they do it. Showing their allegiance, working together. These Satanists in Hollywood, they wouldn't be where they are unless they're a part of that club. I just saw this video clip with TMZ talking about David Bowie's death. It's a complete joke. I mean, just look at the white rabbit in the background here. This, of course, represents going down the rabbit hole. Understand one thing, of course, with TMZ, just like CNN, owned and controlled by Time Warner, one and the same. And this is how they do it. TMZ for the younger crowd and CNN for the older crowd. The game is rigged. Those that control the media control the minds. But let's take a listen to this guy here talking about David Bowie's death. Completely ridiculous how they love to mock. Just take a listen.
Very sad news. David Bowie, rock legend, dead at the age of 69. Hey guys, it's Eric. David Bowie passed away after an 18-month battle with cancer, surrounded by his family. He just released his new album on a Friday, January 8th. That was also his birthday, his 69th birthday. And now his producer, Tony Visconti, is saying that this was all kind of planned.
All kind of planned. Wouldn't you think? Of course it was all planned. The passing, of course, 2 days after the release of the album. Of course, it's going to boost sales. David Bowie is doing this at this time to get away from the public eye. This is what so many celebrities have done in the past. After they've done their time, they're going into retirement, out of the public's eye. All the time involved, just like they stated. Now let's take a look at this news article where it states this is David Bowie smiling just weeks before his death, his supposed death, of course. Now, he knows these are going to be his last public photos that are ever going to be taken. That's why you see this big smile. This man was not battling cancer. If you believe that, you're deceived 100%. This man would be in a wheelchair. He would not be in this situation, this state. You know, after 18 months, you coming down to your final days. There's no way you would look like this. How obvious can it be? Of course, they don't give an exact date of that photo. They just say weeks before his death. Scroll down here a little bit. I find this photo a little bit interesting. Just take a look at his fingers. Like almost like two hooks, two devil horns almost. Get a close up here of this one photo. And this is the one that's actually dated December 7th. I can get down to it. This one here, in public. You know, if he was going through chemotherapy, there's no way he would have this full head of hair. And say, for example, he was, you know, going through chemotherapy and he let his hair grow back. It would not grow back evenly. It grows back in chunks. Not even, like I said, with all these fake news stories, nothing ever adds up, nothing ever makes sense. Because it's all fabricated. That's all they give us is lies. CNN, Fox News, you know, these fake deaths. This world is nothing what it seems.
I'm just living out the American dream, and I just realized that nothing is what it seems.
If your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there. Like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil. Like you're gonna end up on a one-way street and it's going nowhere. Like that's just the truth. I've seen so many people like forsake their moral code and their value systems just for a little bit of fame, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's really not worth it.
David Bowie has been called by Time magazine the most influential of all rock musicians. This is because David Bowie is considered the greatest trendsetter in the history of rock music. Bowie was the first glitter rocker. He was also the forerunner of punk rock and the first to release disco music. Bowie was also the first artist to announce to the media that he was involved in homosexual practices. David Bowie says when he is in Japan, quote, "All those little boys are so cute. I just want to take them up into my room." But few realize that David Bowie's success was a result of his Satanism. Bowie admitted, "My overriding interest was in Kabbalah and Crowleyism, that whole dark, rather fearsome netherworld of the wrong side of the brain." Bowie declared, quote, "Rock music has always been the devil's music. You can't convince me that it isn't." Bowie seems to believe that rock music is Satan's vehicle to usher in Crowley's dark satanic age. Bowie declared, quote, "I feel that we're only heralding something even darker than ourselves." He said, quote, "I believe that rock and roll is dangerous. It could well bring about a very evil feeling in the West. That's where I see it heading, bringing about the dark era." Bowie has also been known to draw satanic pentagrams on his walls and make hexes. In his song Quicksand, David Bowie sings about being closer to the Golden Dawn, an occult organization that Crowley once belonged to, and then he goes on to sing about wearing Crowley's uniform.
I'm closer to the Golden Dawn, immersed in Crowley's uniform of imagery.